Good morning. We are live in the Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center here in Beaumont, Alberta. My name is Keenan. We are having some technical issues to start tonight's broadcast, but video will be coming up onto your screen, hopefully by the start of the second period. So you're just going to get to hear my lovely voice to start today's game. Beaumont Outlaws coming into tonight's game. Wow, I still have night on the brain. Beaumont comes into this morning's game 2-4-0 on the season right now. Winnipeg Blizzard come into this game 5-0-0, undefeated so far for the Eastern Invaders. These two teams both have 57 goals for across their set of games. Goals against the Outlaws 68 for a negative 11 goal differential. Winnipeg 38 against for a positive 19 goal differential. Just delayed here for the start. They're just getting the scoreboard set up. They do have a couple little issues here, but not a problem. Once again, my name is Keenan. I will be taking you all the way this morning for tonight's RMLL Junior B Tier 1 action. Starting goaltenders tonight for the Outlaws in net 0, Caleb Dorland. For the Blizz in net number 1, Andre Isabay. This is a solid goaltender matchup. I have a feeling this one is going to be all about the goaltenders. And here we go off the face-off, the Blizz with the win. That was number 8 taking that, Will Angus. Refs then award the ball to Outlaws. Outlaws pick it up. Now up the far boards to Marcus Hildebrand. Hildebrand bringing it up the far side. Cuts in down low. Shot! And it goes a little bit wide into the far side. Outlaws do retain possession of it. It's a little bit loose. Saying there was a floor infraction there. They're going to give that to the Blizz. Blizz pick it up. That's number 16, Ethan Fielding with it along the far side. Covered nicely by Hildebrand. Sets a little drop back, gets around Hildebrand, passes it off to Zach LeBurge. LeBurge with it now at the top of the circle, makes a pass down low, shot, and again, just goes off the goaltender, just off of Dorland, and the Blizz retain possession. Now at the top of the slot, Zach LeBurge passes off to Chablick. Chablick gets it back, gets around. Angus over, shot, and Dorland with the save. It bounces up high. Outlaws now get possession, passed along the far boards. Outlaws pass off to Kai Lee. Lee now runs it up the far boards, covered by Ollett. Lee gets the shot wide. Ball goes loose. Greenwood was looking for it, but it's going to go all the way back to Dorland as Tyrell Gray makes himself known to Dorland. Pass up to Lee in the center. Lee tries to get a pass down low, but goes over the boards, and that is going to be Blizz ball. Blizz now on the change. Pass off to Bannock. Bannock carries it in. Close side boards right along the Outlaws bench. Covered. Gets around. Pass off to the far side to Kluchuk. Kluchuk. Pass down low, misses, doesn't quite make it through. Outlaws gain it back. Get a fresh 30. Eric Long with it now. A long pass up to Williams, can't find his stick. It goes into the far side. Blizz going to pick it up. Hofer running it fast up the middle. Looking for some help, gets a little bit of help. Down low, shot and scores. Zach LeBurge. He gets the first goal of the game, 17:36 to go here in the first. Blizz have been making themselves known on their passing plays, not letting the Outlaws get too much on the defensive side of this. Most of that time is spent down in the Outlaws zone, and the Blizz capitalize early. Face off again after that. They're going to award this to the Blizz. A little bit loose there. Finally picked up by Fielding. Fielding passes over to Bannock. Bannock passes right over to Kluchuk. Kluchuk covered by two defenders. Little spin move, pass, hard pass across for Chabluck. He can't find it, but he retains possession of it. Bounced up and into Dorland's stick. Dorland, pass off to Long. Long with the pass over to Hutchings. Hutchings now looking for help. Finds Lee in the slot with the shot and goes above the goaltender. Isabay didn't have to do any work there on that shot. Outlaws knock it loose from Reese White. They're down low in their zone, running it up the middle. Gets a nice pass down low. Shot. Tries to go 5-hole, but makes the save. Blizz now, bringing it up the middle. A little pass off to Woods. Ty Woods now on the far side, covered by Goudreau. Woods finds his way around, gets a pass off to LeBurge. LeBurge brings it in. Shot goes wide. Outlaws gain it right back. Pass up the far side to Goudreau. Goudreau's all alone right now. He's got a little bit of help from Maloney. Blizz make a nice quick change to negate any chance the Outlaws may have had there. 12 seconds on that shot clock. Outlaws got to make a play here. Loose ball. 6 seconds. Outlaws have it right beside their bench, but they're not going to be able to get it down in time. They've got to drop it off for the Blizz now. The ball over by the Outlaws bench. Blizz now pick it up. Bannock with it. Bannock cuts through the center. Pass off. Pass back down low. Kluchuk looking for a shot. Can't get it. Behind the back pass over to Seth Delarond, who gets a little bit of a floater shot. The second chance opportunity stopped by Dorland. The Outlaws down low. And they capitalize on a breakaway opportunity. That's a goal from Sika, who makes this a 1-1 game. 4 minutes, 53 seconds gone by here in the first. Keka had a beautiful pass there down low, and the Blizz just could not get back on defense. Outlaws with it now. Outlaws trying to go again. Hobday, though. Hobday can't get it. Blizz pick up the loose ball now on the far side. Pass off to Seth Delarond. Delarond with it now. Trying to get around Goudreau. Can't find a lane through. So circles back. And Goudreau gets possession, but knocked back loose. Seth Delarond over to Chabluck. Stick knocked loose somewhere there. Chabluck cuts in. And a shot just above the net. But the Blizz retain possession. 17 seconds left on their shot clock here. Pass down low. Shot from Seth Delarond does not go through. Goudreau now trying to pick up the loose ball. Can't find it. Seth Delarond again. He is all over this ball here on this shift, making his presence known. Pass over to Bannock. Bannock back over to Kluchuk. Kluchuk now. The far side gets a little bit of help. Shot goes wide into the stick of Bannock. Bannock looking for a lane. Can't find it. Pass up to the top of the circle. A shot there from Xander Delarond goes wide once again, but a fresh 30 coming. Another shot there from the Blizz. And Reese White can't quite tuck it home. Outlaws with it now. Running it up the side. Knocked loose by Zach LeBurge. Gets a pass off. Looking, circles in, cuts in, and can't quite get it. They are going to call a crease infraction there on the Blizz, and the Outlaws get it back. Rogalski up to Turner. Turner now finds a lane to Greenwood. Greenwood on the far side, covered nicely by Tinley. Tinley trying to get it. Kylie now making himself in there. Brendan McDonald for the Blizz also in that. The four-man scrum. The Blizz do come away with it. Little pass into the middle, trying to find someone, can't. Pass off to Will Angus. Angus now cuts back and waits in the center, waits for some help, gets a pass off to Woods. Woods up to Kluchuk. Kluchuk gets a shot off, goes wide. It's going to bounce right into the Outlaws bench, so Outlaws ball. Picked up now. Preston Stewart. Stewart brings it in. Covered by Gray. Gets a pass off there. That pass to Hildebrand. Hildebrand makes a pass over to Hobday. Hobday now down low. Cutler looking for something. Cuts in, jumps, and scores. Outlaws have their first lead of the game. 8 minutes, 3 seconds. 2-1 Outlaws. Outlaws trying to hand the Blizz their first loss of the season. And so far early, they have that early 2-1 lead. Peyton Cook with it now, covered by 3 Blizz defenders. A little bit of pushing and shoving. There, have some words exchanged, a little shot back and forth. It's going to settle down a little bit here. They're going to award it to the Outlaws. Maloney gets it back started. Pass off to Hildebrand. Hildebrand to Maloney. Maloney looking for a lane. Can't quite get around the defender, so passes off to the top of the circle to Hildebrand. Hildebrand tried to go to Lee. Pass was cut. Greenwood is going to pick that up. Greenwood now with the shot high and back all the way down to Dorland. 5 seconds on this shot clock. I don't think they're going to have enough time, so they're just going to get it as far down as they can. Blizz going to get this started again. Fielding. Covered by Sutherland. Gets a pass over to Seth DeLaurent. Pass across to Chabluck. Chabluck makes a cut in. Gets a shot off. Gets a fresh 30 to work with. Loose ball. Keeps getting knocked down a little further. We're now deep into Blizz territory. Just can't pick it up in his stick. Practically went all the way back to Isabay before the Blizz could pick it up. Seth DeLaurent now. Top of the circle. Looking to get around. He ends up making a pass over to Chabluck. Chabluck knocked down on the pass. But Blizz retained possession. And they're going to award, I believe, some unnecessary roughing, so that's going to be Outlaws' ball. They're saying the Outlaws came in a little too hot there. Started it a little too far, so they're going to reset it. Stewart gets it started. He finds a lane, cuts low. Knocked loose by a Blizz defender. Great chance negated by the Blizz. Gray passes over to Bannock. Bannock now waiting for the change off for the Blizz. Waiting for everybody to get on the floor before he brings it into the zone. Gets a pass off to LeBurge. LeBurge up to Kluchuk. Kluchuk now covered. Trying to get around. He gets around and makes a pass back down low. A shot off from LeBurge. Does not make it through. A second chance opportunity from Kluchuk. That was another save from Dorland. Outlaws now. Cook passed it up to Rogalski, who then passes to Greenwood, and Greenwood's going to bring it into the zone. Has a little help from Lee. He's got Hobday coming in from the back. Now over to Lee. To Maloney. Maloney went for the one-time opportunity. Didn't quite hit his stick. 6 seconds on that shot clock. Outlaws got to make a play here. Turner trying to get through a couple defenders. No chance. Maloney makes a shot after the 30-second shot clock expires, so that's going to be Blizz ball. Seth DeLaurent now brings it in, covered by Hutchings on the far side boards. Trying to get around, ends up making a cutback play. Pass down low to Angus, couldn't find its man. And that's picked up by Xander Delaronde. A couple nifty little plays there. Ty Woods now up to Seth Delaronde. Makes a shot wide. 5 seconds. Another shot. Also wide. Outlaws going to try and pick it up here. And with the shot clock expiring, the Outlaws are still going to get it. Goudreau now with it. Far side boards. Doesn't wait for the change off. Tries to make a pass down low to Preston Stewart. Tyrell Gray, though, makes a cut pass. As the Blizz are going to run it up here. They get a shot off. And Dorland makes the save. Nice save on Ollett. Outlaws now. A pass over to Williams. He doesn't quite get it. Ends up picking it up, though, on the loose Turner. To Maloney. Maloney now. On the close side boards down low to Turner on the corner. A one-time opportunity there, and Lee can't quite tuck it home off of the shoulder of Isabe. The Blizz, Kluchuk with it in the center far. Bring it in. He was covered by Sutherland, who cut back. Looks like there was a bit of unnecessary roughing off of the play, so that's going to be Outlaws. Sutherland gets it started for the Outlaws. Pass over to Johnson doesn't find its way. Johnson ends up retaining, though. Pass off to Cutler. Couple plays over to Lee. Into Greenwood, who gets a shot. It went off of the pad of Isabe, so they got a fresh 30 to work with. It's going to be Outlaws ball now. Close side boards over by the Blizz bench. Pass over to Lee. Other side. Passes into the middle for Hobday. Hobday tried to get a shot. Covered by two. Blizz. The Blizz now had a beautiful 2-on-0 opportunity. And Tinley can't quite make it. So the Outlaws are going to regain possession. So Nathan Hendricks brings it in. Little diagonal in. Stewart now. Pass off to him. Stewart now on the far side in the far corner. Cuts back. Tries to find an opportunity. Gets down low. Cut around. A nice save from Isabe. And it looks like we're going to have our first penalty of the game. It is going to be a slash on the Blizz. Penalty to Cale Grahan. 2 minutes for slashing. 5:42 left to play here in the first. Power play is going to get started by Eric Greenwood. Just trying to get the penalty up on the board right now. They end up getting it up. And Greenwood's going to get this started. Greenwood had a little pass off to Stewart, back to Greenwood, didn't quite make its way. This is going to be a opportunity for Ollett. Ollett with a breakaway opportunity, can't quite make it past Dorland. Dorland up to Johnson. Sorry, to Stewart on the far side. My mistake. Stewart now brings it in slowly to Greenwood. Greenwood to Maloney, back to Greenwood, back to Maloney, to Greenwood, to Stewart, Stewart to Greenwood, to Maloney, Maloney with the shot, and there it is, 5-hole on Isabe, 3-1, and the Outlaws capitalize. Outlaws making quick work of that power play, only 35 seconds it took them. 3-1 game, 5:06 to play in the first. Outlaws were coming into this game with a 27.66% power play. And like that, they are now 14 for 48 on the season. Outlaws now have it down low in their zone. Hildebrand makes it around the Blizz defender. He's got some help from Lee, who he passes off to in the far side corner. Lee now brings it back up to the top. Over to Hobday. Hobday with the shot. Isabe off his pad. Lee gets a second chance opportunity down low. And they're going to give an unnecessary roughing to the Blizz. Outlaws ball. That was pretty down low. Outlaws fresh 30 to work with. Stewart now, top of the circle. Over to Lee. Lee down low to Hobday. Hobday can't quite make it through. Is a base pad. Over to Turner. Turner! An absolute rocket from the top of the circle from Turner. 4-1 Outlaws. The Outlaws with two quick goals about a minute apart from one another. A 3-goal lead now on the undefeated Winnipeg Blizz. The Blizz win that face-off. Covered down low by Sika. Pass over to Bannock. The Blizz. Pass over to Kluchuk on the far side. Kluchuk open lane, gets a shot up high. And the Outlaws are going to get that rebound. They pass down low, and it goes right into a Blizz stick of Zach LaBerge. LaBerge, Seth Delarond. Delarond passes off to Kluchuk. Kluchuk looks for a lane to Xander Delarond. Xander Delarond cuts in, and he gets the goal up high on Dorland. 4-2. The Blizz are not going to go down without a fight. Xander Delarond. It's a nice play at the top of the inner crease to make this a 4-2 game. Face-off in the middle, won by the Outlaws. Lee tries to get around. Lee! Lee, what a goal! It was a loose ball off the face-off. Lee cuts through two Blizz defenders and pokes home a loose ball. Isabe tried to go and get that, but didn't quite anticipate the angle that Lee would knock it into the net. And the Outlaws restore their 5-2 lead only about 8 seconds later. Outlaws win the face-off. They have a 2-on-1 opportunity. And another. But no, they're going to call it a face-off, crease violation. I think that might be a little bit questionable. I thought that Hildebrand got it off before he got into the crease, but the ref disagrees. The Blizz now, Seth Delarond at the top of the circle. He drops back with a shot, goes wide, goes into the rafters, Outlaws ball. Eric Long picks it up, get it started, 2.5 minutes to go here in the first. Long, looking for some help, ends up making a pass over to Cutler. Cutler now down low for Maloney. Maloney into a nice passing play for Stewart, but Stewart can't quite get it over the shoulder of Isabe. Now down low, close side boards, Blizz side. Outlaws get it off of that little play, scrum along the boards. The pass up to Lee. Lee cuts in with a shot, goes wide. Maloney going to pick it up. Maloney, 10 seconds left on that shot clock. Pass back over to Stewart, who gets it over to Lee. There's going to be another penalty on the play coming up to the Blizz. And they're going to call a hold on the Blizz. Head coach Jarrett Wood was not too happy about that play, but they're going to call 2 minutes for holding on Corbin Wiley. Outlaws now their second power play opportunity of the game. Again, 1 for 1 so far. Made quick work of the first one. 35 seconds is all it took them. Greenwood is going to get this one started. Pass over to Cutler. Cutler to Maloney. Got time to work with. Back over to Cutler, who passes to Lee. Cutler now, Maloney. Cutler to Lee. Lee waiting to Greenwood. Back to Cutler, to Maloney, to Green, to Cutler, sorry, to Lee. Lots of passing here for the Outlaws, trying to make an open lane. Cutler gets a shot off. Isabe makes the save. And the Blizz are going to get restarted on this penalty kill. To be Kluchuk, I believe, on the far side boards. He's being covered right now by Cutler. Can't quite make out the number from my vantage point. Covered now. 2. Sorry, that's Reese White. Couldn't tell if it was a 3 or an 8. A pass over for the Blizz gets cut by the Outlaws. Dorland now ends up picking that up. Under a minute to go now in the first. Outlaws. Sika with it on the far side. Right in the middle passes to Lee. Lee, 18 seconds. Outlaws going to pull their goaltender. Go 6-on-4 here. But there's another penalty coming. Sorry, that is not them pulling their goaltender. The Blizz now going to go down 5-on-3. As there might have been an injury on the play. It looks like a high stick. Hobday was down for a minute. He's clutching his chin. Looks like penalty coming to Cale Grahan. And Hobday immediately throwing down his helmet on the bench. Hobday being looked at by the trainer. They're calling a 5-minute high stick on the Blizz and 2 minutes to the Outlaws for unsportsmanlike conduct to Hobday. I think Hobday may have been chirping the ref a little bit on that, so they're going to give him 2. So the Blizz are going to get the Outlaws, are going to get a extended power play off of that. So we're going to play a little bit of 4-on-3 action. This is something you don't see quite often in the RMLL, is a little bit of 4-on-3. Especially where you have an extended 5-minute power play for one of them. That 5-minute power play is going to roll over into the second period. 35 seconds remain here in the first. So based on the penalties, even though the Blizz take the brunt of the penalties in that 5 minutes, they are going to start with the ball on this penalty kill. As they gave Hobday the second penalty there. The Blizz. Angus gets this started. Angus with it. Along the boards by the Outlaws bench. Trying to find his way around Hutchings, who's not giving him a lane. Ends up making a pass over to Kluchuk. 15 seconds to go. 9 on the shot clock. Blizz have to make a play. They get a shot off. Second chance opportunity there. 5 seconds remain here in the period, and the Outlaws just going to let that clock expire. 20 minutes in the books now. Oh, no, they are not going to let it expire. Ref is calling to add 5 seconds onto the clock, as they did not stop the clock there before the Outlaws could get it restarted. They're going to give them 5 seconds to work with here for the Outlaws. They're just going to get some things sorted here. Got to reset the penalties as well. And they're just going to play it without the clock, it looks like. Maybe? Oh, there we go. They got it sorted. 5 seconds, and the Outlaws just going to hold it and let it expire. Refs should have probably just let that expire, but that's all right. Through 20 minutes of play, the Outlaws 5, the Blizz 2. You're listening to CROW LAX TV. Hopefully we come to you here in the second with a little bit of video. My name is Keenan. We'll see you for the second. Welcome back inside Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center here in Beaumont, Alberta. My name is Keenan, bringing you Period 2 live. We got our technical issues sorted out, so you can now see what is happening in tonight's game. Once again, 20 minutes in the book so far. Outlaws are up 5-2 on the undefeated Winnipeg Blizz. The Outlaws are in blue, heading right to left on your screen for Period 2. The Blizz in white, heading left to right. As we get started here for the second period of play. And the Blizz first penalty there is going to expire. Outlaws can't capitalize on that one. There's still another minute 8 remaining in the Outlaws penalty to Hobday there for unsportsmanlike conduct. And the Outlaws still have another 4 minutes left on there, 5 minutes for high sticking. Outlaws looking to set up now, far side. Pass over to Stewart, was hit by a defender. And the Blizz are going to send it way down. Wiley now with it, looks for some help. He gets a little bit of it, back to Wiley with a shot, and Dorland off his shoulder makes the save. Outlaws now on the far side. Pass over to Johnson. Johnson to Lee. Lee finds his man down low. It's Greenwood. Greenwood cuts up top. Back to Lee down low. Lee pass across to Maloney. Passes down. Pass over to Lee. And they're going to call a face or crease violation. That's going to be Blizz ball. Blizz running it up through the middle there. Carried right now by Reese White. As the Outlaws penalty expires, and the Outlaws now have an extended 3-minute power play. Dorland. Passed over to Sika, who went over to Cook on the far side. Brings it in slowly. Drops off for Hobday. Hobday to Maloney. Maloney back up to Hobday. Pass to Stewart. Doesn't go through. Retains possession. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Outlaws got to make a shot here. To Lee. Down low to Maloney, who is cut. 3 seconds. Make that shot, and another pass for the Outlaws. And they let that shot clock expire. Blizz. Tyrell Gray there on the far side. Brings it in slowly, letting his team get the change off. 2:13 left in their penalty kill. A little bit of a fake pass from Xander Delarond. Delarond. Covered by Long. Gets around him. Tries to get around Johnson, and Johnson cuts him off. It's 2-on-1. They knock it loose. And the Outlaws don't touch it, let that shot clock expire. But the Blizz do get their defense set back up here. Minute 43 to go. In this power play opportunity, Stewart to Maloney, back to Stewart. Back to Maloney, down low for Hobday. Maloney, Stewart. Looks for a shot, doesn't quite get it. Tries to pass it over to Maloney. Doesn't quite make it. Greenwood picks it up. The top of the circle gets a shot off. Blocked. The Blizz, they now have a breakaway. But Ollett can't get it into his stick in time for that breakaway opportunity, so he's cut by 3 Outlaws defenders. Somehow gets around 2 of them. A little bit of an extra shot there from Greenwood. A little bit of pushing and shoving now. Ball goes into the netting. Took them a minute to call it dead there. That's going to be Outlaws ball. Or sorry, Blizz ball. No, Outlaws ball. I am losing it this morning, I swear. Greenwood got the shot, and the rebound goes all the way into Outlaws territory. They're going to say that it was a floor violation, and that's going to be Outlaws who gain it right back. Sika now. Over to Maloney. And now it's going to be Blizz ball. In the middle. Looking for some help. That's Zach Tinley on the far side boards. Covered by Cohen Sutherland. Tinley wants some help. He's not getting any. Still 20 seconds remaining on their penalty kill. Tinley trying to get around Sutherland. Now covered by two Outlaws. Gets around him, gets a shot off, and he scores shorthanded. And the Blizz cut the lead down to 2 for the Outlaws. A shorthanded goal with 7 seconds left in their penalty. And instead of giving up one on the extended 5 minutes, they gain one on the extended 5 minutes. Blizz. There's a reason they're undefeated, and they're trying to show the Outlaws why. Down in the Outlaws corner, the Blizz pick it up off the face-off. Blizz trying to get around a pick set. They've got a little bit of life in them now as it's back to 5-on-5. Over to Kluchuk. Kluchuk looking to get around. Can't quite make it. 10 seconds left on that shot clock. Gets a shot off anyway. It was more like a hard pass down to Fielding, who can't quite get it. Covered now by Long. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. They do get a shot off, but it is going to be Outlaws ball. Picked up now. Eric Long, far side. Covered by McDonald. Outlaws get the pass down low to Stewart. Stewart covered. Down to Lee, a cross pass to Maloney. Maloney can't quite find a lane in, but cuts back up wide. Along the floor, and a nice save by Isabe. Keeps this a 5-3 game. There's a little bit of pushing, shoving, a little bit knockdown. And they are going to award Blizz ball. Blizz running it up in through the middle. Hofer looking for a lane, cut by Hutchings. Gets a pass off to Angus. Angus, ball knocked loose. Dorland is going to pick that one up. They're saying Dorland picked it up outside the crease, so over and back. Blizz ball. Fresh 30 to work with for them, too. LeBurge being held a little bit there, but ended up getting a pass off. Goes high. And Outlaws ball now. Hutchings bringing it right through the center. Pass down to Hobday. Now Greenwood has it. Top of the circle. Covered. Back to the top. Gets a shot off. Goes wide. 4 seconds on the shot clock for the Outlaws. Blizz just want to let it expire. They do. That's going to be Blizz. Far side boards now. Cut back. Let them get the change off. Nice change there. Bannock has it. Bannock cuts in low. Can't get past Williams. Makes a pass off there to Woods, who can't quite make it through the shoulder of Dorland. Outlaws running it through center. Rogalski holding it. Cutting behind the net. Doesn't. Cuts back. Up to Lee. Lee. Bounce pass over to Turner. Turner to Lee. Gets a shot off. But the Blizz pick up the rebound. They're running it up pretty quick now. Wiley. Back to Wiley. Shot and wide. The close corner now. That's the Blizz Zach LeBurge trying to find a pass or get it around. Can't quite, so passes it off. Angus now back in the middle. 3 seconds on the shot clock. He's got to make a play. They are going to count it. The Blizz cut the lead to 1 for the Outlaws. It's 5-4. The Blizz started this period down by 3. We're not even 8 minutes in, and they've already cut it and they're down by 1 now. The Blizz win the face-off. Will Angus. Pass down low. A shot off by the Blizz from the Kluchuk goes off of the pad of Dorland. As the Blizz retain possession, trying to get it around. Kluchuk with it again, trying to get another shot off. Little pass behind the back to Fielding, but the Outlaws get it back. Book with it. Up high. Gets a pass down low to Cutler. Cutler looking for some help. Gets the pass off to Greenwood. Greenwood with the shot wide. Stewart, second chance opportunity, also goes wide. It's going to hit the roof. Blizz ball. Blizz now with the breakaway. That's 4. Tyrell Gray gets a shot off, goes wide. Ball bounces all the way back. Taryn Hutchings tries to pick it up, bounces off his stick. And Reese White is going to pick it up with 14 seconds left on the shot clock for the Blizz. LeBurge now. Down low, far corner. Chabluck. Chabluck. Get a fresh 30 to work with. And a penalty forthcoming. And we're going to get a penalty to the Outlaws, I believe, for cross-checking, it looks like. It's going to be Carson Johnson. 2 minutes cross-checking is indeed the penalty. And the Blizz are going to get their first power play of tonight's game. Or today's game. I keep forgetting it is still like 11 a.m. here in Alberta. I am losing it today. The Blizz coming into this game 3 for 28 on the season. Their power play rough. It's only at a 10.7%. The teams they've played against have been very disciplined. Haven't given them many opportunities. But a 3 for 28 power play on the season does not matter, as the Blizz capitalized in 15 seconds, and it is now a tied 5-5 game. The Blizz with 3 goals in the first half of the second period to tie this back up, and we're right back where we started. They're going to award the Outlaws the ball off of the face-off. Rogalski picks it up past to Turner, who subsequently passes it to Hobday. Hobday to Stewart. Stewart knocked off balance, gets a pass down low to Hobday. Outlaws were wanting a penalty. They're going to call a no-goal. The Outlaws bench is pissed at that. Head coach Stu Sturparn is not happy, yelling at the ref, "Where's the hold?" As the Blizz now have the ball run up the far side there. Gets a nice little pick set. That's Hofer with it. Pass off to Xander Delarond. To Chabluck. Chabluck now gets a shot off. Dorland with a nice save. Down low, Xander Delarond. Up to Ty Woods. Woods now. Couple little passes off. And LeBurge gets a pass, or a shot. And Dorland, easy save. 40 seconds left in the penalty. There are no penalties anymore. They just did not take it off of this scoreboard. Outlaws get a shot off. Nice save there from Isabe. As the Blizz gonna run it in. Xander Delarond Had to pass off to Kluchuk, whose shot goes wide. Fresh 30 now as the Outlaws pick it up. Outlaws going to run it through. Taryn Hutchings stops up, cuts back. Pass off to Greenwood. Greenwood now. Looking for some passing lanes. Finds one in Maloney. Maloney now. Over to Stewart. Stewart down low to Lee. Lee cuts back up. Cut pass there from Bannock. And they're going to call a crease violation. Award that Blizz ball. Will Angus now. Angus has a pick set by Gray to get cleanly through. Angus. He's going to do it all himself. Finally makes a pass over to Chabluck. Chabluck now. Pass over. A shot from Angus off an Outlaws defender. Into the roof. Blizz ball. Fresh 30. Shot off from LaBerge. Goes high. Kluchuk now trying to get it. Covered nicely by Cook, who ends up picking it up deep into the Blizz zone. Waiting for some help. Tries to make a pass over to Hobday, who doesn't get it quite on his stick. The Blizz going to pick it up. Breakaway opportunity. Tinley, though. Stonewalled by Dorland. Outlaws running it fast up into the zone. A shot off. Save from Isabay. And the Outlaws with another breakaway, the Blizz with a breakaway, who capitalized. Number 16, Ethan Fielding, gives the Blizz their second lead of the game. After going up 1-0 early, the Blizz have been trailing since until now. 7:32 to go here in the second. Outlaws taking a timeout now. Stu Sturparn cannot be happy with his team after 4 unanswered goals from the Blizz. Once again, we're looking at a goal differential coming into this game for the Outlaws of -11. The Winnipeg Blizzard have a +19. The Blizzard showing why they are undefeated in the East right now. Captain of the Blizz, Ethan Bannock, having a conversation with the referees. I think he's wondering why something was or wasn't called. Or maybe the way it was called. Who knows? Unfortunately, I can't hear her quite from my vantage point, but that's all right. 7:32 to go here in the second. Blizz up 6-5 on the Outlaws. We're live inside the Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center in Beaumont, Alberta. On a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Beaumont, just outside the capital city. Blizz moving it around the outside right now. Finds its way over to LaBerge. LaBerge gets a pass down low to Seth Delarond off the shoulder of Dorland, and that is going to bounce all the way back into Blizz territory. They do get a fresh 30 to work with. It in. Covered by Goudreau, who drags him down, and the Outlaws are going to take a penalty here for holding. Blizz now about to get their second power play opportunity of the game. Penalty going to number 20, Jacob Goudreau. Stu Sturparn comes out of the bench to talk to the referee. He is not happy about it. Understandably so, when you have 4 unanswered goals against. And when you saw a missed call that you weren't happy about already, tensions are already high. Blizz are going to look to capitalize quickly once again. Angus at the top of the circle. He is quarterbacking this power play. Xander Delaron passes off to Kluchuk. Kluchuk back to Delaron. To Kluchuk, shot goes wide. And that is going to bounce into the middle. Picked up now by Hutchings on a breakaway opportunity. Gets a shot off. Nice save by Isabay, who falls on it just to make sure that Hutchings can't get a second chance opportunity. Blizz gonna bring it up, minute 20 to go here in the Outlaws penalty. Once again, Blizz passing it around the outside, looking for a shot lane. Kluchuk to Angus. Angus at the top. Pass to Kluchuk. Kluchuk with a shot just above the net. And the shot clock will expire. That will be Outlaws ball in the far side corner in Blizz territory. 55 seconds remain in the Outlaws penalty kill. Covered by two Blizz defenders who get a 2-on-0 opportunity now. Gets a shot off, and Tinley, it hits Dorland's shoulder. Keeps this a 6-5 game for the Blizz. Outlaws trying to bring it in. 30 seconds left on their penalty kill. Maloney now on the far side, looking to kill off as much time as he can. Maybe they can get a shorthanded opportunity here. Lee now cutting down low. Maloney, ball knocked loose. They're trying to keep it. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. They need to get one off here if they want to keep possession. They're not going to get it. That's going to be Blizz ball. 5 seconds left in their penalty kill. Nice job by the Outlaws to kill off that power play for the Blizz. Again, a Blizz power play that hasn't been operating too hot this season. Came into this game 10.7%, 3 for 28. They're now 4 for 29 on the season. One of the Blizz players not happy as he comes back to the bench that they squander that opportunity. Blizz get a nice shot off. Dorland with the save. 4:32 to go here in the second period. Goudreau looking to get around the defender. 29, Brendan McDonald. Can't quite, so passes off to Carson Johnson. Near the center. To Lee. Down low to Stewart. Stewart now. Up top for Hobday. Back down to Cutler. Cutler now trying to get around. McDonald can't quite make it. Pass over to Stewart. Doesn't quite get there. Shot clock expires. Blizz are going to get possession. Reese White with it. Brings it in. Far side boards. Covered by Nathan Hendricks. Pass over to Xander Delarond. Waits with it. Pass down to LeBurge. LeBurge. Wide open. Ty Woods can't make it through Dorland. Dorland keeping the Outlaws in this game as Eric Long brings it back in. Long at the top. Pass down the side. Ball loose. Picked up by Hobday. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Greenwood needs to make a shot here. Ball knocked loose, so that is going to be another shot clock expire. A little bit of pushing and shoving there between two of them. Are they going to drop them? Looks like they might be dropping them. Nope. The refs are going to get in the middle of it. Are they going to give them penalties? Looks like they're going to talk about it. They're going to give roughing to the Blizz. It's going to be the only penalty given there. So the Outlaws are going to get their 4th power play of the game. It's going to go to 2 Corbin Wiley. I think they gave that penalty to Wiley because of that extra little shot that he gave. Either way, Wiley's in the box. He's like, why am I getting it? Kluchuk isn't happy, talking to the referee. being like, that's a joke of a penalty. Greenwood is going to get this started. Passing around, a shot from Stewart, and a little shot there from the Blizz. And again, the Outlaws bench yelling for another penalty, but they're not going to get it. A 2-on-1 for the shorthanded Blizz. They get a shot off Dorland with the save. They're going to call a crease violation, so they're going to award it to the Outlaws. Outlaws with it. Ben Hobday. Hobday waits for reinforcements, passes it to Eric Greenwood. Greenwood to Stewart. Stewart down to Lee. Lee behind the net. Looking for a passing opportunity. He just goes back to Stewart. Stewart to Greenwood. To Hobday. Hobday with the shot off of the shoulder of Isabay. As Greyhand's going to pick that up. Try to run it up the sideboards. Knocked loose. Greenwood picks it up. 1 minute to go here in their power play to the Outlaws. It's a little bit of a change there for the Outlaws. Lee with it. Down in the corner to Stewart. Up to Greenwood at the top of the circle. Greenwood. Back to Stewart to Greenwood. Greenwood gets a shot off. Goes wide. Ball is going to bounce. All the way back down to Dorland. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Outlaws just going to try and get it as far as they can, I believe. And they do get it down. So Blizz going to get it here. The 30 seconds remaining in their penalty. Run up the far side by Seth Delarond. Knocked down on there was Jacob Goudreau. Delarond and Goudreau just going after one another here. Covering each other. Goudreau rubs him out along the boards, but does end up making a pass over to Angus. Angus now finds a lane, tries to cut in, knocked loose. Blizz, 3 seconds on the shot clock. They get it off, but Outlaws are going to run it down as the penalty expires to the Blizz. 1 minute to go here in the second. Pass off to Lee. And Lee can't quite make a play there. Pass over to Maloney. Maloney down to Hobday. Hobday to Lee. Gets a shot. Isabay with the save. Back into Stewart's stick. Stewart tries to pass over to Cutler. Doesn't make it into his stick, though. Covered by the Blizz. Knocked down. That's Ben Hobday. They're going to award it to the Outlaws. 28 seconds to go here in the second. And that is an absolute rocket there. And Ben Hobday ties it back 6-6 with 22-6 remaining in the second period. Absolute cannon of a shot from Hobday on the top, or on the far side of the circle. Looked like the Blizz may have been trying to call a timeout, but the coach says no. Don't know what was happening there, a bit of confusion. And there's where they're calling the timeout. So the Blizz calling a timeout now, 19.1 to go here in the second. All tied back up 6-6. Again, started this second period 5-2 for the Outlaws. Was 4 unanswered goals from the Blizz to put them up 6-5, and the Outlaws tie it up near the end of this second period. The Blizz running through a bit of a game plan here. They may be trying to go 6-on-5 here. They are going to go 6-on-5 here to end the second. 19.1 remaining in the second period. So they will have the full 30-second shot clock to work with, which obviously will only be the 19.1. But this could be the Blizz's best chance to get back up by 1 heading into the second intermission. Angus is going to get this started for the Blizzard. They're just watching the clock here. Pass over to LeBurge. LeBurge to Angus. Angus winds up, makes the pass. Another pass across. 4 seconds left in the period. Outlaws with some nice defending. And that is going to do it for the second period. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle. Refs running in to break it up. This has been a bit of a rough game back and forth. Don't be surprised if we do see a few gloves drop there in the third period. Tensions running high in the second from here inside the Ken Nickel. 6-6 after 40. We'll be back with the third period. I'm Keenan. You're watching CROW LAX TV. Welcome back inside the Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center. You're watching CROW LAX TV. The Manitoba Blizzard visiting the Beaumont Outlaws. We're tied 6-6 through 40 minutes of play from inside the Ken Nickel. Outlaws at one point leading 5-2. The Blizz had 4 unanswered goals. The Blizz being awarded the ball off the faceoff there. The refs seem to be a little on edge today. I don't know what's been going on with them, but there's been some missed stuff in this game and things with the scoreboard, and I don't think the refs are too pleased with what's been going on today. The Blizz have the ball deep in the zone, passing around. Pass off to LaBerge, who goes behind the back, looking for the open man, doesn't find him. A shot from the top of the circle from Kluchuk hits the pad of Dorland. Blizz get a fresh 30. Passing around the top of the circle. Another shot. Another fresh 30. Now picked up by Chabluck at center. Off to LaBerge. LaBerge gets around. Another shot. Dorland with the save. Sends it behind his net. Picked up by Johnson. Johnson. Over to Sika. Sika, far side boards. Trying to get around his defender. Does. Cuts in. Shot. A little bouncing shot. Doesn't make it through. Isabe with the save. Blizzard bringing it in now. As Hofer stops up, waits for some help, gets a pass off, goes for a change himself. Captain Bannock with it now. Bannock to Kluchuk. Kluchuk, pass off. Woods. Back over to Bannock. Along the boards, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Blizz have to make a shot from down wide. Little bit of a shot passes. Bannock picked it out of the air, went down low. Dorland made the save, but was too little too late. The Outlaws have it now. Lee with it. Waiting for Turner to come in before he makes a play. Cuts back. Up to Hobday. Hobday. Pass over to Lee, doesn't go through. Maloney trying to pick it up. Blizz ball now. Up the far side, that's Tyrell Gray. Gray. Bounce pass to LaBerge. LaBerge. Cross to Chabluck. Chabluck. Gets open, finds the open man, gets a shot off, and just tucked in by Xander Delarond. 7-6 for the Blizz. Found Xander Delarond wide open just outside the crease, and Delarond tucks it just in that top far side corner. Absolute picked his spot, and it went in. Outlaws trying to get it off here. Still a loose ball. The Blizz end up finally getting it. And a rocket of a shot from the top of the circle. Kluchuk, 8-3 for the Blizz. Two goals in quick succession from the Blizz. Up by 2 now. They have 9-6 up on the scoreboard. That unfortunately is incorrect. That should be 8-6. Don't quite know where they're getting the 9 from, but that's all right. Outlaws. Lee brings it in. Brings it back out on transition. Pass down low. That pass over to Cutler was cut by the Blizz as they bring it in now. What's up? Seth Delarond, far side boards. Waiting. Pass. Chabluck. Chabluck. Has it down low. Trying to get it around Goudreau. Can't quite find a lane. Pass up. Cross to Delaron. Delaron with the shot. Dorland with the save. Outlaws now. Hutchings bringing it at far side. Stops up. Pass to Lee. Had an open lane. Two Blizz defenders drop down to cut him. Lee holding. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Pass over to Maloney. Maloney trying to get around his man. Dragged down. Penalty forthcoming to the Blizz. And a little bit of pushing and shoving. Are we going to finally get a fight here? No. Backs out of it. Penalty coming up to the Blizz. And Outlaws now. Power play number 5 for them. As Corbin Wiley takes another 2 minutes, this time holding. Greenwood gonna get it started here once again for the Outlaws. Passing around the outside of the circle. Outlaws looking for an open play. Looking for that lane. Greenwood to Maloney, back to Greenwood. Over to Stewart, who does make a shot and goes wide. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. And I don't think they're going to get the chance for a shot, so Dorland just sends it deep into the zone. Is going for the change here. Kluchuk brings it into the zone. Kluchuk, far side, bounce pass over to Xander Delarond. Xander gets a shot off right into the crest of Caleb Dorland. Outlaws moving it up the middle. Johnson with it to Lee. Johnson goes for a change. It's over to Hobday. Now trying to set it back up. A shot there from Stewart. Looked like it hit maybe the helmet there of Isabe. Outlaws gain it back. Still 32 seconds remaining on their power play. Passing it around the outside. Hobday Maloney. Back to Hobday. Pass over to Lee, who gets a shot off. It was off a defender. And the Blizz knock it down. 10 seconds to go. Dorland with it. They've got to make something happen. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Hobday from out wide. They do get a shot off, but it doesn't matter. The Blizz are still going to get that back. The Blizz bringing it in. Back to 5-on-5 now. Seth Delarond. They're saying over and back. The refs are going to confer with one another. As the Blizz bench is up in arms on that call. They are still going to keep it for the Outlaws. Outlaws now. Lee to Stewart. Back to Lee, doesn't hit his stick. 13:40 to go here in the third period. Maloney looks for something. Can't find anything. 3 seconds, has to make a shot, gets one off. Pass up from Isabe. Doesn't go through. They're going to award Outlaws ball. Outlaws. Going for the change. Pass off to Maloney. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Hobday gets a shot. Hits the defender in front. Loose ball. Picked up by the Blizz. Now loose again. And Greenwood picks it up, bringing it back into the zone. Knocked loose by Tinley. Greenwood, though, retains possession. Has an open lane, gets a shot off, and it goes wide. Outlaws still have it. Pass into the middle for Greenwood. They get a fresh 30 on that shot. Blizz now with the breakaway. A shot and a save. Tyrell Gray from Caleb Dorland. Beaumont bringing it back through. Goudreau to Maloney. 15 seconds. Maloney tries to cut in low. Has to cut back around. Cutler. Justice Cutler now. With it. Tries to send it on the floor. Doesn't quite get it. Fresh 30 now as the Blizz pick it up. Blizz brought in by Fielding. Fielding slows down. Looks for some help. Gets it to LeBerge. LeBerge. Looks like it was trying to go to Fielding. Didn't hit him. Pass and a shot. The Outlaws, they're saying over and back. Blizz ball. Blizz now with it on the outside. As Outlaws pick it up on a bit of a failed shot attempt there. That's Long bringing it in. Knocked loose, and the Blizz going to send it way down for a one-on-one. Nope, doesn't hit the stick. But still picks it up. It's LeBerge. LeBerge all over both sides of the floor tonight. Pass off to Bannock. Bannock over to Chabluck. Chabluck now. Gets it back up to the top. Knocked down. Outlaws ball. Outlaws to Goudreau. Goudreau now. Gets around his man. Hits the pad of Isabe. Now a bit of a scrum in the close side corner. Gets a pass off. The shot from Greenwood goes wide. Lee picks it up. Lee down low. Maloney trying to get around his man. Does get around him. Tries to go for a bit of a floater pass to Cutler. Doesn't make it through. They're going to award this to Blizz ball. Knocked down. Maloney knocks down a Blizz player. The Blizz want a penalty. None forthcoming. The Blizz going to keep it. 17 seconds left on their shot clock. So they get a full changeover. 10 seconds. Seth Delaron with it. 4 seconds. They get a shot off, goes wide. Shot clock expires. Outlaws ball. Bit of pushing and shoving. Words being exchanged. And there are going to be 2 minutes each for roughing, it looks like. We're going to have a bit of 4-on-4 action now. And confirmed 2 minutes each for roughing. Head coach Jarrett Wood not happy. Feels like he's been on the losing end of a lot of these calls tonight. We're going to play a bit of 4-on-4. 9:31 remaining here in the game. As Lee gets it started back. Stewart now picks up the loose ball in the middle. Stewart. The Isabade ends up picking that up. Outlaws, Stewart all over. ends up stealing it away from the Blizz. Stewart with it. Waiting for some help from Greenwood. Greenwood comes into the zone. Pass over to Turner. Turner. Greenwood gets a pass off the boards. Needs to make a shot. Gets one. Goes high. And there's going to be a... Nope. Never mind. They are not going to call it. Thought they were going to let them play there, but they are not. The Blizz have it now. 50 seconds left on this 4-on-4. Ethan Banook with it now. Banook looking to get around his man. Instead, passes over to Kluchuk. Kluchuk with a shot and the goal. And it is now 9-6 for the Blizz. Get back started here. After that Blizz goal, still 40 seconds to go here. On the 4-on-4. Blizz passing it around. Trying to cut in. Backs up on his man, but passes it off instead. Banook with it now. Banook. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Knocked loose. Outlaws now have an opportunity. Hutchings running in for the breakaway. Sorry, Rogalski. Rogalski, though, covered, so he ends up coming back around. Rogalski finds an open man. Maloney with the shot and scores. 9-7 now as the Outlaws cut that lead back down to 2. Seven minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the third period. The Blizz came back from a 5-2 deficit to tie it up, take a commanding lead, and now the Outlaws trying to chip away at it. The Blizz win the face-off, gets around, a little bit of unnecessary roughing, and they're going to call that Outlaws ball. Outlaws. Sika brings it in. Sika over to Greenwood. Greenwood back to Sika on the far side boards. Goes to Maloney. Maloney was looking for the pick that Cutler set. Couldn't quite find it. Maloney now. Pass over to Greenwood. It bounces out of his stick. Outlaws trying to keep possession of it. They don't. Loose ball still. The Blizz pick it up. Now run up by Ullett. Ullett passed it off. Now to LaBerge in the center. LaBerge. Covered by Hutchings. Looked like he was going to go for a windup and a shot, but ends up backing out of it. The Outlaws pick up the loose ball. Goudreau with a breakaway opportunity, and he scores! Jacob Goudreau cuts the lead to 1. 9-8 for the Blizz. .6:20 to go here in the third period. The Blizz win the face-off. A shot from Seth Delaron goes wide. They're going to award Outlaws ball. Picked up by Williams, who passes it off. Now over to Maloney. Outlaws have to have some life now after 2 quick goals, still down by 1. Bob Day over to Stewart. Stewart now looking for a pass. Gets it to Lee. Lee scores! And this game is tied once again. 9-9. Lee tucks it home. We have a game here in the Ken Nickel. A back and forth affair with blown leads. Some questionable calls if you ask the head coaches. It's been a rough and tough game. Outlaws win the face-off. Carried into the zone from Cook. Cook in the deep into the Blizz close corner. Sends it into the far side corner now. Goes up high for Sika. Sika now. The Outlaws go for a change-off. Shot. And Cutler's shot gets saved by Isabe. As the Blizz have it now. One of the Blizz players was taken down in the defensive zone. There's a penalty forthcoming to the Outlaws. Not a great time to take a penalty if you're the Outlaws. So we're going to play a little bit of 6-on-5 until they touch it. Seth Delaronde with it now. On this delayed penalty to the Outlaws. Looks like it might be a 2-minute for high sticking coming up. Blizz, nice little play back. And an extra little shot. We might actually get some 4-on-4 now. I think they might negate this. We'll see. The original penalty was going to the Outlaws, but I don't think they like that little extra shot from Seth Delaronde, and they might call this a 4-on-4. Refs trying to get away from the players. Talk about it for a minute. See what they call here. Going to call 2 minutes cross-checking on the Outlaws, and that is going to be the only penalty here. The Blizz are going to get another power play opportunity. Their third of tonight's game. So far, they are 4 for 30 on the season, including tonight's game. It's going to get started up by Jackson Kluchuk. Kluchuk with it. Gets a pass off. A shot there from Xander Delaronde goes over the net. Outlaws pick it up on this penalty kill. The 9-9 game. Stick thrown by Seth Delaronde. And Hutchings brings it into the zone, gets a shot off. Hutchings was kind of dragged down a bit by a Blizz player. Blizz were wanting a penalty. Outlaws were wanting a penalty. None forthcoming. Kluchuk with it. In the middle. Brings it in slowly. Pass off to LeBurge. LeBurge with it. Wow, never mind. LeBurge and Kluchuk absolutely fooled me. Kluchuk held it that entire time. The Blizz have it down low. They're trying to get that loose ball. LeBurge does end up picking that up. Tries to make a pass over to Bannock. And there is a penalty coming up now. Looks like it's going to be an Outlaws penalty. It's going to be a 5-on-3. 2 minutes slashing. And it is indeed going to be a 5-on-3 for 53 seconds. And then the Blizz will get another power play opportunity after. Blizz getting this started. Passing it around the outside. They've got a man drop down low to cover on D. They get a shot off. Nice save from Dorland. Kluchuk picks it up on the far side. Back to Kluchuk. Pass over to Delaronde. The pass to LeBurge doesn't hit his stick. 27 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Got a pass off to Bannock, who couldn't quite tuck home the one-timer. And a nice save from Dorland on Zach LeBurge to keep this a 9-9 game. 3:05 to go here in the third period. Pass over to Goudreau. Goudreau now bringing it in on the penalty kill. 8 seconds left on the 5-on-3. There's a penalty coming up to the Blizz. So that Blizz power play will be negated. It's going to be a bench minor for too many players on the floor. And if you're the Blizz, that is an unfortunate time to take that. So their second power play only lasts about 1 second. And we're back to some 4-on-4. Coming off of this, the Outlaws are going to have a 54-second power play, which could prove crucial in a 9-9 tie. 2:45 to go here in the third period. Outlaws find a lane. Lee gets a shot, hits the netting. That's going to be Blizz ball, picked up by Tinley. Tinley making a pass to Gray. Gray covered by Goudreau, but keeps possession. Gray with a little backhand shot goes wide. Ball's going to bounce out here to Angus. Angus over to Kluchuk. Kluchuk with it. Wood sets a bit of a pick. Kluchuk with the shot from far out. It goes wide. They're going to call Outlaws ball. The Outlaws now have it. 20 seconds left in this 4-on-4. Brought in by Eric Long. Long passes it to Turner, who passes it down to Maloney. Maloney to Lee. Lee back to Maloney, who has a wide open chance. 3 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Maloney over to Turner. Turner with a shot into the crest of Isabay. Is now 5-on-4, a 50-second power play for the Outlaws. Outlaws trying to cut the Blizz off here. Can't quite do it on Reese White. White with it. Minute 20 remaining. 35 seconds in a power play for the Outlaws. Burge in the far corner. Gets a shot off the outside of the net. Tries to get a second opportunity. Doesn't. The Outlaws, 20 seconds to work with. They got a fresh 30 as well. Picked up by Johnson to Lee. And there is going to be a timeout called for the Outlaws. Smart time for the Outlaws to call this. You got 16 seconds left in this power play. A minute 2 left in the third period. 9-9 tie against the undefeated Winnipeg Blizzard. Stu Starparn talking with his players, running them through the game plan here. Once again, 5-on-4 for 16 seconds for the Outlaws. So far, Outlaws are 1 for 5 tonight on the power play. Blizz 1 for 4. So the Outlaws looking to capitalize on this 6th power play opportunity. End of the timeout. Blizz looking to defend here. This is going to be the most important 16 seconds of this game for them. As Kai Lee gets this started. Last minute of the third. Maloney to Lee. Stewart to Lee. 4 seconds in the power play to Lee. It's a shot or pass to Turner, who doesn't get it. Stewart with it now. Pass to Maloney. Goes above him. 6 seconds on this shot clock. Gets a shot off. That's Cutler. They're going to call crease violation. 30 seconds to go. 5-second differential. And the Manitoba Blizzard now calling a timeout. It's a smart play from the Blizz. They'll get a fresh 30 to work with, 26.5 left on the clock. Now the question is, do they go aggressive, pull Isabe, and go 6-on-5 for the final 26-5? Or do they try to send this to overtime? Again, the Blizz undefeated this year. They're having their hands full with the Beaumont Outlaws today. Once again, make sure you tune in tomorrow, 5 p.m. for Saskatchewan Rebels visiting the Edmonton Warriors. That game, again, 5 p.m., Bill Hunter Arena. It's the next game here on CROW LAX TV. And the Blizz, in fact, are going to try and go for that 6-on-5 attempt. My mistake, they only have 23 seconds on their shot clock. And here we go, started back up by Zach LeBerge. LeBerge, 16 seconds. Angus. Back to LeBerge. Passes across to Kluchuk. Kluchuk covered by two defenders. 6 seconds to go. Gets a shot off into the netting. The Outlaws ball. The Outlaws just going to shoot it all the way down. And that's going to do it for regular time here. 9-9 through 60 minutes. We are going to get some extra lacrosse here from inside the Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center in Beaumont, Alberta. We'll be back very shortly with the overtime period. They're just trying to get the score clock set up here for overtime. 5 minutes, sudden death overtime. 5-on-5. It'll be Williams versus Angus in the dot. Angus gets it done for the Blizz. Bit of a scrum, 3-on-3 along the far boards there. Blizz look like they're going to come away with it. Knocked down. The Blizz keep possession. Now the Outlaws do get it. Outlaws. Hunter Sika with it. Passes off to Kai Lee. Lee. Looking and waiting for his extra men. Passes over to Turner. To Maloney. Maloney. Looking for Cutler. Cutler keeps it 10 seconds on the shot clock. Cutler to Stewart. Stewart cuts in, gets a shot off of the shoulder of Isabe. Taken hard into the boards. The Outlaws retain possession of it. Had a fresh 30. Maloney to Lee. Lee gets around his man again, gets a shot off Isabe with another save. Ullet with it now. Ullet, covered by Cutler, gets around him. Pass off to Seth Delarond. Delarond. Circles back around to Kluchuk. Kluchuk. 14 seconds on the shot clock. A diving play there. They're saying that he jumped in the crease, so that's going to be Outlaws ball. 3:30 to go in overtime. Pass off to Lee. The Outlaws put their heavy hitters back out. They want to end this one bad. Lee, wide open lane, gets a shot off, goes wide, and into the roof. Blizz ball. Hofer picks it up behind the net. Runs it up, lets them get the change off. LeBerge with it. 3:05 to go. Kluchuk to LeBerge. Pass to Bannock. A shot there from LeBerge goes wide. Blizz keep possession. Back to Bannock. Bannock over to Kluchuk. Kluchuk with a shot. Off the post and into the roof. Dorland is thanking his posts right now. That was the closest anybody has come to scoring in this overtime. LeBerge with the shot. The save from Dorland. Halfway through the overtime. The pass up to Johnson. Once again, that first power play unit comes up for the Outlaws. Lee. To Stewart. It was cut, though. Corbin Wiley. He's got help from Blanchard. And Wiley finishes it off in overtime. Blizz win 10-9. The Blizz remain undefeated through 6 games. And that will do it from here inside the Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center. Final score, the Winnipeg Blizz 10, Beaumont Outlaws 9. A back-and-forth affair ends with a Blizz victory. The Blizz continue their winning ways. And the Outlaws, you're 2-5-0 on the season now. Closing in on the halfway point. And you've got to be wondering, can you catch the Warriors and the Rebels near the top of the standings? Well, that will do it from here inside the Ken Nickel Regional Recreation Center in Beaumont. Once again, make sure to tune in tomorrow, 5 p.m., the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels visiting the Edmonton Warriors, the top 2 in the North, facing off on the turf. The pleasure was all mine to bring you this game. For my broadcast partner, Eric, thank you for tuning in to CROW LAX TV. You're watching CROW LAX TV.